Let's do it. All right. Let's do it. Okay, so let's start here. I mean, I have some stuff that I want to accomplish with you today. Ooh, this is actually good. You can look at this after. 10 keys to 10K, even though you're already there. Yeah. But there's a bunch of have you listened to any Vector Connect audio?
Yeah, the one I can't remember.
Flip the Switch, Mark Lovis, and stuff like that. Did you get anything out of that? Was that some good stuff for you? Okay. Yeah. This has a ton of other ones on phoning, Rex, closing, motivation. There's a ton of really good ones. Okay, so why don't you let me know first, what do you want to talk about today? What's on your agenda?
More the future.
You want to talk about the future?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what we're gonna.
The future. Okay, we can do that. We can start calling you the future. Okay. What else do you want to talk about?
Management stuff.
Okay, management stuff. Do you have questions about it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I can do my quote napkin talk with you, which is here's the path, and I like to lay out people's go through college path, so I can do that for you too.
Yeah.
So that way you can see a bigger, deeper, more crisp vision of what you could go after. Because once a lot of people get to 10, 15, 20K, a lot of people go, okay, well, what's next? I want to sell a lot of Cutco, but normally most people want to advance. So we can do that. What else?
That's it for now.
That's it for now?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me this. Where do you feel like you're at with the basics? Okay, so your demo. If I were to watch your demo, what would I give you on a scale from 1 to 10?
Probably an 8.
Okay, so you feel really confident and solid with your demo. What about if I was watching you get Rex?
Rex? A 7.
Okay, but you still feel pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, and then closing the sale?
Closing is fine for me. I say 9. Honestly,
do you know what your closing percentage is right now?
No, I don't.
Okay, no. So that would be a good thing for you to start tracking and paying attention to. How many appointments have you done this week?
10.
You did 10 appointments this week, and how many sales did you make?
7 or 6.
Okay, all right. So you can just look at orders on Rollo versus that, and then just start to pay attention to that, because your average order, I think, is pretty good. I think the last time we were in here it was 500 or something like that. But I want to, if we can have you close 80% of the time versus 70, that's a lot of income on the table. Okay, and then what about phones?
Phones, I'm good.
Scale from 1 to 10, what would I give you?
What would you give me?
Yeah, I was watching you make phone calls.
8. Thank you.
All right. Okay. All right.
After that one time you watched me?
Yeah, that helped.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what about managing your time right now, making your schedule, feeling confident about being intentional about setting your schedule for the week?
Yeah, I already have it planned for this week.
So you feel pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, you feel good? All right. Okay, let's do this then. I'll give you both of these things. Well, look what I just got out. That's kind of cool. Be a part of the management team. So I think what would be good first is, why don't you tell me what are you excited about right now? What have you heard talked about? What's of interest to you? So I know. Because we had talked about, you getting on staff eventually in the future, but that's AMIT. And I could have promoted you to that at SC1, but I wanted to wait, and I want you to sell more and all those other things. We have other people getting promoted to AMIT at 3K. But I want you to feel real strong with your personal sales, and I think that you're going to be a great fit for it there. But I'd like for you to just focus on crushing as much as possible, because we still want to help make 10 this summer. So, but what else?
Yeah, obviously I'm excited to make 10K. I want to sell 35K and all that. Get the big award, the K-bar at Vegas and all that. So.
Okay, so you got your eyes on Vegas, you got your eyes on K-bar, you got your eyes on being #1 rep. You can steal that back from Noam,
because he's leaving soon. So.
Yes, it takes advantage. And then there's okay, so but when you hear about management opportunity and the ability to coach and lead, do you know what level would you like to get to, or do you know?
Yeah, like I just see like RJ and Jeremy.
Yeah.
Being branch managers.
Yeah. Something that you'd be interested in.
That, yeah.
What do you want to do when you get done with school? Did you want to do something with?
Yeah, with my brother, I wanted to start a business because my dad already has like a construction business.
Yeah.
And my brother is like basically the manager there. Like he does everything for my dad.
Don't they have a food business too?
Yeah, that's my mom's side.
Your mom's side has that. Okay. All right.
So basically, like on both sides, I have like businesses that I could turn to.
But you're born to be an entrepreneur. Like you're in a family that's entrepreneurial, and then you have interest in that. Yeah. Didn't you want to do something with fashion or no? You just like fashion. I'm into fashion. You're just fashionable. Yeah. I get it. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. So that's good. Making more money will help you become more fashionable. Exactly. Okay. We could do that. So why do you, from what little you've heard about running a branch, why do you want to do it? What's enticing for you for it?
Just like the fact that you're like basically running a business at such a young age, and then you're going like away for the summer. Like, I don't know. I just kind of want to be away from my parents and be like, I'm on my own doing this thing for like myself and for like the company. Yeah. I just want to be able to say that I was doing it. Yeah.
Do you know the melting point for the thermos and handles? It's like there's a number.
It's the hot as the sun. It's whatever is the heat of the sun. They should buy it. Yeah. Our stuff doesn't melt. There is a number for that. I don't know it though. Yeah. Okay, so you want to do it independent, be separated from your folks, and then if everything went perfect and you ran a branch next summer, you would be 19 because you're 18 now. Yeah. When's your birthday?
February 1st.
Okay, so you'd be 19 as a business owner. Yeah. Which is really cool. Okay. All right. So let me do this. I think let me kind of break down a Cutco through college path for you, and I'll do this a couple of times. Cutco through college. You already have your classes.
Yeah.
When are you gonna get them?
In like a week or two when summer school's over.
Okay. So this is kind of what I'm gonna do. An ideal path. Ideal. It doesn't have to necessarily be this path, but I know you like to be ideal. All right. So this summer, the first thing is you want to sell, and you want to. I know your goal is to get to 35K plus. You want to make 10, and you want to earn your spot. Okay, you want to earn your spot in the division. You want to earn your spot in the region even. So one of the things for you that I just want you to do is I don't want you to look around other people in the office, because there's a good chance you can be number one. And sometimes when you get there, you can say, oh, I'm number one. So, but there's always somebody else to beat. And then I think, did you see what I posted on the group me by any chance of like the top reps? Yeah. So that's current for the COC trophy race. So I think for you, like, having a vision of being top 10 or top 5 or maybe even top 3, to be number one is usually going to be maybe 40 or 50. So you'd have to have some, you can push for that, but for you to do 35 is almost the same thing as you doing 50, because it's still, you got to do a lot of demos, you got to max out your push, but then it's like, okay, are we getting the big orders? Yeah. Okay. But this is still really solid, and you'd be top of the chain in the region, which is nice. And then want to work on your skills. Okay. So in the fall, the next thing that we do is you have to interview with me, and we do the TLA, okay, which is Leadership Academy. And that's going to be my leadership and management training course for you. We do it once a month, and then there'll be training at the office, right? So TLA, it would be AM in the fall. Do you know how AM works?
No.
Because I couldn't remember if we'd had that conversation before. So let's say that you become an AM in the fall. You can be an AM anywhere from a half day a week to 1 day a week in the office. Sometimes it's 2 days, like a Monday, Wednesday, half days. It's basically you give me your school schedule and we work around that for the AMs. All right. You get paid a percentage off of the office sales. Do you know that? No. Okay. So all the AMs get paid a percentage off the pilot office. And it's nice being an AM in the pilot because our office produces the most. But nobody becomes an AM to make more money. Yeah. Like if you want to make more money, go do more demos. That's the idea. And your number one job as an AM is what?
To teach. To make more demos.
Sell, right? And I have some AMs that are good examples of that, and I have some AMs that are not as good examples of that. But when you get there, you want to be the guy that's the example. Okay. If you're going to be the future.
Yeah.
All right. The next thing is all this money gets withheld. Okay. For your inevitable branch. And what Cutco does is Cutco gives our branch managers $8,500 to $9,000 to open up their office. And most of that money, all that startup money, is pegged for certain things. We help them with advertising. It helps towards going for their the supplies that they need and like everything to get their office rocking and rolling. And we also just make sure we spend some money on advertising so that way they can get touches for their office and have recruits coming in. And then basically what my branch managers do is what we want to have you have saved is somewhere between $3,000 and $5,000 saved in your withholdings account. And there's a couple of creative different ways that we can do it. Okay. More to come on that, but that's where we want to get that to. And then because if the company's going to give you all this money and I'm going to support as a branch manager, have you as part of the BM team, I want to make sure that you come to the table with some skin in the game. Right. So also you can show me, hey, Evan, I'm not a complete knucklehead and I can save money. And I didn't buy a bunch of clothes at Suit Supply. Make sense? Yeah. Okay, cool. So TLA, AM in the fall could be somewhere, but it's part-time around school. And then you would learn higher level sales skills. You'd be learning how to create touches, advertise. We do on-campus tables. You'd learn how to recruit. You'd learn how to run interviews. You'd learn how to work with reps. You'd learn how to run a phone jam. You would learn the admin side of the business. You would learn this. You would learn PCs, which is probably the thing most people find most enjoyable. It's just like sitting down and connecting with a rep and be like I love having these conversations. Like, hey, look, Evan, let's talk about the future. It's like, okay, that's a conversation worth having, right? So you get to do a little bit of that during the fall. Okay. In the fall time, this is all fall campaign basically through the winter. You can put your name in the hat to become an Olean candidate, right? So I take the top people to Olean. It's usually people that are going to run a branch office, okay? And so you're going to compete against everybody in my division and current branch managers, like an RJ and a Jeremy. I could take those guys again, kind of thing, right? So I'm going to take my top people to Olean. Okay, now during this time, you also want to think about what you want to sell during school. Okay, so one of the things you could focus on is selling 10 grand, which is easy. Yeah, if you sold 35, but you would make 3 grand working super part-time, and I would want you to get A's in school. I don't know if grades are a big deal for you.
Yeah, they are.
But I would want you to like crush school, crush being an AM, crush the job, have a ton of fun, hang with friends. You know what I mean? I want you to get the whole thing. If you're doing 20K, then you have a chance for a scholarship. So that's usually where the range is at. Or you could say, well, screw that, Evan. I'm going to do something big in the fall too. And what's the record? Okay, that's, you know what I mean? So you can kind of set it wherever you want. So we have all this going on. Vegas is obviously mid-September, and you've already qualified for Vegas, which is good. And I'm not sure exactly how we're going to do Vegas this year, where either you get charged up front or you do conference orders, but you're going to get Cutco when you go. But either way, we do it so it washes out. And then we just bomb up there from Vegas or from San Diego and just come up there and back down. Cool. Okay. Now for the fall and winter of 2018, would be like during winter break. That's a time for huge sales. And we do have a contest. We typically have a cool contest in January for a trip. So that's another time to shine, right? When you can win. You like to travel, I'm sure, right? Yeah. So it's like the opportunity to travel somewhere is really cool. So you get, as you perform more, maybe a chance to go to Niagara Falls, chance to go to Vegas, like all these things, you'll get more opportunities. Okay. In the springtime, would be the same. So that would be continuing TLA, AM, but basically it's BM prep, okay, to get ready. Then I let people know where their territories are right around like February, January, something like that, if they're the right candidate person for it. And it would likely be a spot to be earned within our division. So San Diego, El Centro, Yuma, somewhere in the Inland Empire, or Vegas, like somewhere one of those areas. But you would be away from your folks for sure. So you'd be it is a total leap, leadership experience, adventure, right, and then personal growth opportunity. But that's why people do it. And if you stayed on track, by the time the summer happened of 2019, if you want a track to be a BM, then you would open. When do you get done with school? June, yeah. Yeah, so we always try to work it out with finals and stuff. So you try to open somewhere in May or early June, and then you basically run until August, depending on the situation. So some people come back early, they sell early, depending on like how their office is doing and what their team's doing. So I have like one branch manager is going to run deep all the way probably till he might go all the way to September. And then I have other people like RJ where I go, okay, hey, office isn't where it needs to be. Team isn't as big. Okay, no problem. Cut it down. Now he's going to come back and sell. And what's really cool about BM, you know that your sales count for your personal sales, which is beautiful. It's like a shortcut to 150. But the other thing is that July through September, when you're, either ending or back here, you would get flat 50. So even if you're not at 50%, like all my branches right now, anything they sell, they get 50% from now until the end of September, just because they're a branch. So it's pretty cool.
Wait, so I would make it 50% if I was the branch manager? Whatever everybody sold. Yeah.
So you get that no matter what. So let's say so let's just do the math. Let's say you actually hit your 35 this summer, and let's say you did 10 in the fall. Okay, now you're at 45. Let's say you did 10 in the winter break. Okay, now we're at 55. Now let's say you did 10 in the spring. Okay, now you're at 65. And then your office, if your office sells 100, okay, then clearly you're at 150 plus. So you're making half. But when you make half, there's a monthly bonus that you need to hit. You need to sell $4,000 for the month to like start achieving certain bonus levels. But in this, my branch managers, even if they're not there, they just get flat 50. There's no bonus level. They just get half because they ran a branch. And then this is a way that they can really make huge profit on their branch office at the end. They can profit as a branch too, right? So either way, more details on that later as far as money goes. But that's kind of how that would look. And then at the end of that summertime, then it would be basically you would be a sophomore. Yeah. Right? So if you really were doing a cut with your college path, then it's TLA round 2, NLG, which is next level group. So then it's, you ever go to camp? Yeah. So then it's camp counselors. So it's, hey, I've been through it before, so I'm coaching up some of the new guys and helping them, but I already ran a branch office. So now I'm working with Evan to skill up my branch office. So that way, if you did the whole experience again, then summer 2020, you can BM times 2. And some people go, well, I ran a business. I made a ton of mistakes. Now I want to grow that business. And then summer 2021 would be, what would you be? Well, you're going to transfer to state, right?
Yeah, so I'll be at state by then probably.
Yeah, you'd be at state. And then it could be, then there's options. BM3X, being an AM with me in the pilot office, or an SM, being a lead AM. It could be, I just want to be a full-time sales rep. Okay, Evan, I did my experience there. I want to crush that. Or, there's Andrew Evans in our company who did 1, 2, 3 brand. Now he holds the record because his office did like $700,000. He made 6 figures as a branch manager in the summertime, which is nice. And then he just became a DM. Yeah. And so then you graduate, and then the idea is to create 5 stars, right? Yeah. So you're the 5-star recruit where you either go, Evan, I got the chops now to go create my own business and the confidence, and you're making money the whole time and saving it. Or you go work for a company for a little while, because you want to get experience in a different business, or I'm coming after you to be a DM or a CSP, or, there's just options to be there for you. You want to go get your MBA. Options, right? If you kick butt in life, you have options. So that's kind of what it would look like for you. So does that make sense? Okay. So, question about this.
No. Sounds pretty good.
Okay. So when you do this, as far as future goes, let's talk. Okay. So right now, we got key staff, right? Okay. Now, key staff, Thursday nights, focus on your personal growth. Okay. Focus on getting better at the job. Then AMIT is next. So SC2 can be your focus for that. Now, AMIT is going to be half day. I'll give you, okay, your day is mine, because I want to make sure that we do it in a way that doesn't make you feel overwhelmed. You're like, okay, this is the next step, but it makes logical sense. I'm not overwhelmed. And this is your first time in college. So college isn't hard if you manage your time, but I just want to make sure that we kind of like gradually go into it, right? Mm-hmm. And then after that is AM. Now, when you're in AM, there's basically your percent that you make as an AM is depending on value you bring and time in the office. So if you're here 3 days a week, you're going to get paid more than an AM 1 day a week. Okay. And there are basically 3 phases to being an AM. So phase 1 is your number 1 job is to what?
So
yeah, for sure. So like, even if you didn't get the best results of everything else management wise, but you were selling, I'm psyched because we can work on those areas, but that I need you to lead from the front. You'll also help recruit, which is setting PRs, all those types of things, getting people in for interviews. You'd be helping on campus, a lot of different ways that we help let people know that, hey, we're hiring for Cutco. Mm-hmm. Then you would also help run a phone jam, which is what PJ is. Okay. Then you'd also get a chance to advertise a little bit, set PRs. That's some basics. Like you'd help out a team meeting, get a chance to speak. You're there. You would second man interviews. You'd help out. Phase 2 is you get a chance to start being a recruiter of mine, which is fun. Where you suit up, you run an interview, you do the whole process, and then you decide if people get to work here or not, which is cool. Great experience, right? So a lot of my AMs, before they go out and run an office, they'll run, 25, 50, sometimes 100 interviews. So they're really confident with that part. So I want you to run more interviews by the time you graduate from college than the person that would be interviewing you after college is ran, so you have more experience than them. Mm-hmm. And then the third one is you get a team. So phase 3 is a team. So it's like all these are happening, but when you're here, I trust you enough, you have enough skills enough that way when people get done with training, I go, your team captain is Nick. And then how well they do here, it depends on your coaching. So you would do PDI with them first weekend, help them roll over their orders. You do fast start PCs with them like I did with you. And you get them to the events, the team meetings, you learn all this. And all of this stuff that you're going to learn, you will learn through staff meetings at the office. You will learn through the TLA. You'll learn through like weekly prep at the office to help you get good with the management side of the business. Is that cool? Mm-hmm. And then when you're doing all this, what you're effectively doing is running a branch in my office. Like once you get to a team, it's like, well, I have my own little mini squad. What's the next step? The next step is running a branch. Now it's quite a leap, mm-hmm. but really you're still doing all of this. But the 4th phase, so to speak, would be doing training, right? Except a BM does everything, right? You'd be a one-man show. Mm-hmm. Okay. And then you can do this 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, whatever. And then when you graduate, the next level would be, are you a DM? Are you a CSP, right? Because some people will run an office and go, well, I really love selling. I really want to take that opportunity. Or for me, running an office, after running an office and organization, I couldn't imagine selling because I like this more, and I like teaching people how to do it, Mm-hmm. So it just depends on people's jam or your 5-star. Yeah. And then you go where you want, which is nice. Yeah. And then I'll probably come after you pretty hard. That's a good thing, Mm-hmm. So it's nice to have that option to pick what you want. So questions about anything that I just went over?
Everything's pretty explanatory, it's pretty simple. But my own branch.
Yeah.
So I'd have to recruit people from the area. I couldn't bring anybody from San Diego with me, or.
Like who are you thinking?
If I had some people that I was talking to, and they wanted to come with me to start selling under me, could I do that or?
Yeah. Yeah. But what typically happens, it's okay, let's say you're running an office in El Centro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're not going to drive.
No.
Oh, and as a BM, if I was in El Centro, would I have to rent out an apartment or something and just
Yeah. So usually most of the BMs will just find a room to rent or something like that, because basically they just need a place to lay their head for 3 months or something like that. They're working their tail off. You know, they're in their office. They go rent an office, though. They sign an office lease. The nice part in El Centro, we have a person that we use the same office every single year because they just know, and they never fill it up with anybody else. So they just keep giving it to us, which is nice. But yeah, it could be anywhere, but it also could be outside the division too. You know, it could be someplace different. Now there's less freedom and flexibility with something like that. Yeah. Just because, you know, in my lines, I can say who goes where, but if we go into someone else's division, they only do that. We only typically do that if our division's full, and then there's openings in other areas, and they actually want to take in an incoming branch manager, but cross that bridge when we get there. But basically, if you become so good, you're undeniable, right? Like, so good, then people want you. You know what I mean? And you get a chance to. And also, there's a ranking system too. So when you go through the TLA, if you rank yourself higher, right, DMs get first priority. So like Armando's going to get a pick over you, but I go by ranking of BM candidates. And if you're the number one guy, then I get to come to you next. And I don't go, hey, you're going to Yuma. I say, well, I have Yuma, El Centro, I have Rancho Cucamonga, and I have Chino. You know, where are you excited to go? Here's the pros and cons of all the places, right? And you go, oh, I'm fired about here, right? Because then you can position yourself for that. But if you're the last branch manager on the totem pole, then I call you and say you're going here. Yeah. That's how the real world works anyway. So anyway, but what I think is important for you is that, you know, now, if you want to get a chance to go earn the spot, what's most important is your sales between now and the end of the summertime. So we want to make sure you're hitting your targets. We want to make sure you're hitting SC2 really hard. So that's the big one. Have you thought about what you want to do for SC2 yet?
Yeah, 15.
15K. Okay. And why 15? I'm fine with it. Just why is that the number?
I feel like I could have hit 10 if I wasn't sick. And then so I was like 15.
And you already did 10 your fast start.
So.
But you also, the push period is 16 days. You know, so it's not 2.5 weeks quite, but it's pretty close. So there's a lot more time than even your fast start contest too. Yeah. Okay. 15 solid. If you do 15, that'll put you at what? If you did 15 right now, you didn't sell another lick, you'd be at 30? Yeah. So this week matters. Next week matters. And then we have SC2. The week of SC2 matters. And then the last week, you probably are in school.
Yeah,
do you know when school starts?
Like August 20th. 20th.
Yeah. So like that week. And then just if I could plant a little seed right now for you, that very first week of school, no matter what, go sell a brand. Because then you go, oh, yeah. It's okay, you know. But what do a lot of people do? They go,
I'm in school.
It's college. I got to take like a week or two. And then what happens, they lose all momentum. And then it becomes this, I've seen it happen a million times. So I want to make sure that you just thinking about that when you're in school too. I mean, for you to sell $1,000 a week when you're in school, you're going to feel like you can do that, you know, and then you can be scholarship territory. And I think a good big goal for the year is let's get you on the snowboard trip. Do you snowboard? Did I ask you that? You just like the snow. You just want to travel.
Yeah, I just want to go do stuff.
I just want to go do stuff. Okay, well, there would be an opportunity to go do something. So, so that's another thing to think about too. And, you know, when you hit 35K for the summertime, then it should be a slam dunk for you to hit 50K for the year, you know? And then you could try to be number one rep in the division for the year. You could try, you can try to move up the rankings, and I'll be good about showing you all that stuff too. So you kind of know where you're at and where you stand. Is that cool? Yeah. Okay. So in the last couple minutes here, just because I got to go in 15, so we still have a good time here. But this for you is your cut go through college. Okay. So this is going to give you your layout and kind of an idea, and this is chicken scratch, but it just kind of gives you, okay, like here's what I would be shooting for, and this is what it would look like. TLA is the most important thing that will open the door. So you're going to have an interview with me for the TLA in like before you go to school, basically, or like that first week or so is when I run all my interviews. And then this one will be, so you got, okay, I have everything down for AMIT. Now, when do you want to get AMIT promo by? We want to shoot for SC2? Yeah. And then I think COC in Vegas is a great place for you to get your plaque for that. Now, you could be in an AM role before September, but then when you get your plaque in front of everybody, it'd be a really cool place to get promoted. Yeah. And I think that makes a lot of sense because I think the flow will just be good for you. Promotion-wise, it'll make a lot of sense.
Just keep selling, and then
if you keep selling, then you become undeniable. Yeah. then you force my hand to promote you. That's what I tell people. I'm just like, force me to promote you, where it's like, I don't have another option. You just say, Evan, make me on staff. I have every good reason. And then if you're going to Evan, I passed every single one of your staffers in career sales. I guess you're right. You know what I mean? So now realize too, what happens to the commitment level? He goes up, right? So AMIT is a little bit more, but AM, what you'd be committing to is time in the office. Like I said, like a day a week in the fall-ish. Of course, all events. AMs need to be at all events. And then I have a staff meeting once a week. It's usually here at my house. Yeah. But in the fall time, it's very different. Fall, winter is a little higher level than spring. Fall and spring feel very different in the summer than feel very different times of year than the summertime. So just so you know, but it's a good time to train. It's like our off season for you to sharpen your hone your skills. Now we can track you to be a BM. And if you're ready, then you're ready. Right. Otherwise, if you do all the work and prep to run a branch next summer, like, you know, Evan, I want to write my letter of intent now. Like I'm your future BM, but it wasn't quite ready or perfect. Then you could position yourself to be a lead AM in the pilot with me next summer. Cause I'm going to try to build like the most kick-ass staff that I've ever had in career, right? Next summertime. So that way we can break our record, because we're not going to break our record this summer for sure. We're doing good, but I need a super staff next summer to get it. Cool. All right. Let me tell you about some other stuff to be aware of dates wise for you. Okay. And we'll get some good assignments out of this. Okay. So what's your schedule this week?
I'm actually going to Comic-Con.
Okay. What does that mean?
4 days. So Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then on Thursday, the meeting's at 6:30, right?
Yeah.
So I can make the meeting.
Comic-Con is Thursday,
Friday, Saturday.
Thursday through Saturday.
Yeah.
That means you're not doing appointments.
No.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Or I think you said 4 days.
Yeah, and then I'm giving the 4th day to my friend.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Why do you go for 3 days? Is it fun? Is it amazing?
Well, like there's just different panels like every day. So
what do you mean?
Like with all the new stuff that's coming out, like all the new movies and all that. So they give you like little teasers and stuff, and then there's always like free stuff every day. So
okay. And then do you go all day?
Not all day, but you go like I go at like 8, like really early from the very start, and then I go to like 3 or 4.
Are you in costume when you go?
No, I'm not.
Not one of those guys.
I'm not a weirdo.
Okay, you know.
I appreciate it, but I don't like.
You're into it, but you're not one of those.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm not.
All right.
I'm not like that.
All right. I didn't know. Maybe there's a side of you I did. Well, there's probably a lot of things I don't know about you yet, but I'll learn more about you. So, okay, Comic-Con Thursday through Saturday, so no demos. Tomorrow, Wednesday, are opportunities for you to score points. Sunday, Monday. Okay, so CPO goal this week is what?
Well, tomorrow, I'm trying to get this big one that I have with this one guy. So I'll probably say
demo goal. Do that. Like how many appointments you want to do? That's easier because whatever the CPO is, the CPO.
10.
Okay, so you want to do 10. So you got to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Monday. So when are you going to set them up? You can do some of the team meeting, or can you make some calls tonight?
Yeah, I'm gonna make some.
You're going to make some more.
Why would I wait in traffic?
Might as well make more money. Okay, that's good. So CPO goal this week. So right now we are in July week 4. It's going to be this upcoming week. So next is August week 1, and then 2 and 3. This is where you're, let's say you're selling $7 grand and $8 grand or so for Sc2 push. This is basically where the push is. Okay. August week 4, that's where Sc2 happens. August week 5, you have school. So that'll be kind of like the layout during that time. During this, after this next couple of weeks, the interviews happen here for TLA. The one thing you want to know about is that on the 18th, it's a Saturday, we have our ILA, which is basically go over like how everybody's paid. AM's branch, cool. Okay, so that's that. And then August, so what you want to think about is if you're hitting this target right here, and you're hitting 15K for the push, this week you probably want 2K. Next week you probably want 3K. So you can build a little momentum because this will put you at 20. And then 15K for this time put you at 35. And then the extra that you sell, you might even be able to chance to get to like 40. But I like this because it gives you a little buffer. So just what if you finish at 13K for Sc2 and this week you sell $2,000? You know, you have a little bit of a buffer to make sure that by the time this ends, you're competing for Vegas. And then we basically have 2 more weeks, and then we have COC. Is that cool?
Yep. So what's the exact date for Sc2?
The 15th.
15th.
August is Wednesday. Okay. Yeah, and then we basically have a couple of days, and then the 18th, which is Saturday, with ILA, and then pretty much everybody transitions to school. So our whole division, people just go away to school and stuff like that. I run all my things, and then we start our TLA program. Yeah. Okay, so that's this week. Do you have anything going on next week?
No.
Okay, so CPO goal is X, and then demo goal is 10, and then you feel good about making your schedule and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
Ooh, one thing that I just thought about. Can you get done with Comic-Con in enough time to be early for the SLDM? The SLDM is not till 5 at night.
On which day?
Friday.
I'm not sure. I think Friday is like one of the bigger days.
Yeah, it probably is. Can you go early and see what you can work out?
Yeah.
So you go 8 every day?
Yeah.
Okay, so see what you can do about that one, but that everybody who is an Alliance member, how late does Comic-Con go?
Till like 12 at night.
Oh, it just goes.
Yeah.
Can you go and then go back?
Yeah.
So, because that's something you would need to be at, where Jordan Soriano's teaching how to sell the big stuff. Sharissa Sosa, you know the name?
Yeah.
Is doing goal setting, and then TC Smith is going to do push tips, but also sort of a mini intro to the events team. So that would be also something we want to help you get on, is become a part of the events team so you can work those.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I need to follow up with you on that. So Friday. Okay. So it's 5 to 9 here, and I'm okay if you come in costume. I'm just kidding. And then you leave it, and then you leave right at 9. You go right back or whatever. If that's the big day that you need to be there. Okay, I get it. But I want to make sure you get the info for all the Alliance stuff. And then the Alliance thing for the push period, it's July 30th through August 15th. Do you have anything going on in that calendar? You still dating your girlfriend?
Yeah.
So you got to have a conversation with her.
Yeah.
I'm a bad boyfriend from July, basically 29th through August 15th. So clear your day, the Lord's Day. July 29th is the ADCD, right? Which is what? All day, call day.
Okay.
It's the worst day of all time, but it's the best day because I want to help you book up a ton, and then that we'll queue that up.
Is that the 400 calls day?
Yeah, that's the day. We're here all day. Just it's great.
All right.
Take your keys, the whole thing. It's gonna be good. And then this is the push during that time. So for you to achieve your $15,000 mark, and then you're going to sign your contract in blood. It's going to be very exciting. We're going to put it on the wall. Right. But this contract will mean something this time.
Yeah.
Because last time, I know you're sick, you had a lot of stuff, but you didn't even know how to push last time. You didn't know what it was, and now you go, oh, okay. I know what's up for grabs, and know what's worth. It's what's I could shoot for. So, questions about any of this?
No. It's pretty good.
Okay. Everything this week is business as usual, except for like if you're gonna do Comic-Con on Thursday, and you're gonna end a little early, we do have key staff and D3D at night here, but that can be after Comic-Con stuff. Friday, work that out if you're going to come in. Saturday's fine, do it. Saturday's cool. And then next week, what I'd like to do with you before we ramp up into Sc2, then I'd like to do another PC that's just a scheduling. It's just a touch-up PC. So it's like when you're in the office, 20 minutes or so going, okay, is everything planned perfectly for your push periods? You know exactly what you got to do.
Yeah.
And then the biggest thing you can work on right now is your contacts. Do you know how many you have right now? Like if I forced you to call, right, every person that you knew for a demo, do you have 100? Do you have 200? Do you have 300?
Closer to 300. Probably.
You have more. Yeah. Okay. So
more.
If you already feel like you're at mission 300, then the challenge I want you to get to is 500 before we start. There's going to be some people who are going to struggle to get to 100. But if you already feel like you have a leg up, you have referrals that you've been collecting, and you still, I mean, you could really still make your initial list really big.
Yeah, I still have people from that list.
Yeah, for sure. There's, I mean, it's really, if people are honestly writing it down, however many people they could see, it's people could write down ridiculously large lists. But over the next 2 weeks, that's what I want you doing. So actually, you're going to take stuff out of your manual, and you're going to get a new kind of a hit list where you have one part, and just like we did in your fast start, was like making your 100 or 200, and it was like boiling down to the 40. So if you want to do 15K, let's say it's probably 60 appointments. I say 40 is 10K. You did it in what, 20?
Yeah.
So, but what I like the idea is like committing to doing, sitting down with 60 customers over 16 days. It's like
4.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5 a day, depending on the day. So it's still full days, but it's not like full. I mean, you might even go, well, shoot, if I'm going to go all in, maybe I want my goal to be 20. Maybe when you think through the process, 15 is great, but you might even think that you want to go a little bit bigger, and you can go from there. All right, cool. Anything else?
That's it.
Okay. Only one other thing I need from you. I need to help getting 2 or 3 more super studs on for push. Who do you know?
I got some people.
Can you get them in for an interview?
Yeah, I'll tell them to come in.
Yeah, well,
because I've had people who wanted to like sign up, and I sent them the link, but I don't know if they signed up or anything. So
okay, so you're gonna make phone calls right now, right?
Yeah.
Before you do that, can you just alley-oop a couple to Armando? Just text him, say, "Yo, are you busy for a second?" Call him on the phone. Just say, "Hey, I'm here. They're filling interviews. Check it out if you want to come in." But we are. When I talk to Armando and the staff, like, we are short. I need like 10.
Yeah.
If you can get me 10, then you can just do the work. And then I don't need anybody else on the team. But I'm going to let a couple people know, of people that I want to work with. But do you know what kind of person I want? Like you. Yeah, like you can recommend anybody the job. They can work here. But I want some nicks.
Yeah.
Do you know some nicks?
People who are hungry.
Yeah, but also have some game. You have some natural people skills. Like, they want to make some money. They have some little bit of sales acumen. Like, do you know people like that?
Yeah.
Are there any of the modern day kids that are good?
Yeah.
What about, do you know kids from other private schools?
Yeah.
Which ones?
Saints, like every private school.
Do you know anybody from Cathedral? I don't have a Cathedral. Do you know any OLP girls?
Yeah.
All right, I need one from each school. What about Bishops?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
I need that one.
Yeah, we played them in football all the time.
I need that one. I don't need someone from Hilltop.
Yeah. No, I feel you.
Okay.
I know what you mean.
And then when you go run your branch, what do you think I'm going to tell you? I'm going to say, hey, man, you can recruit and give an opportunity, but what do you want to do? You want to find the best possible kids, because if you want to build a championship team, you need championship people. Like, I need more you. The only thing, I just told you we're not going to break our record this summer, right? Why not? I don't have enough nicks. I got to know them. I got to nick.
What happened to Allie?
She's still working. She's just doing her other job right now, and then she leaves town, and she comes back. So people have vacations and stuff.
Natalie?
Yeah, she's working her other job. So, but she made $2,000, and she's like,
she's ghost.
Oh yeah, well, not exactly that. She's still working, but she's not Nick.
Yeah.
So I want some. So what I'd like you to do is make me your list of 10 that you like. But I seriously, from those schools, and I have a 2 to 6 week work program for those people that, like, if all they can do is, hey, I leave for school August 9th, fine. They can still help us for the beginning of Sc2. Even if they're like, I don't know if I want to do that knife job. It's weird.
Yeah.
Just come and interview. If they like it, great. If not, no sweat. So can you do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So Allie, either call, text them, and if they're like, hey, you don't have to talk to them. You can just say, hey, I'll get you in for an interview. You want an interview? And then just group text them with Armando or me. I'll set them up. But Armando's going to be working tonight, and I'm going to be off duty right now. I need to go relieve the sitter. Kids.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Cool.
All right, then. I don't think I need anything else.